Welcome to Reread. We're on our last 5 stories from the Tales from Jabba's Palace. The first one is called Out of the Closet. Oh my. It's Derek Jericho, written by Jennifer Robison. She had wrote the one for Tales from Mos Eisley. I don't remember Jericho being in Jabba's Palace. Maybe he is in the throne room. But either way, she brought him back. He wants Han Solo's soup. He wants Jabba's the Hutt soup. And he misses out on the sail barge. He didn't realize they left. And he'll get them when they come back. Of course, they don't come back. All right, so he's going to go crazy. But it does mention that he'll be patient for them to come back because he's over 1,000 years old. He's 1,010 years old is what we're told. I did not know he was that old, which is kind of cool. And he'll come back, and I thought, well, that's kind of short. But he comes back in a little bit in one of the later stories. The next one's called A Barve Like That. Of course, they got to do something with Boba Fett, right? So Fett's in the Sarlacc. The Sarlacc goes, "You won't get out again." Again? Does that mean that, I'm going to talk about Marvel 81 later on, but does that mean that he did escape once? But that's what the Sarlacc says. Now, maybe the Sarlacc's just saying, you won't get out. You'll never see the, sands of Tatooine again. But the quote is, "You won't get out again." The Sarlacc eats off the left knee from the leg from the knee down, and so that's gone. I forgot about that. That was really cool. The Sarlacc brags that they ate a Jedi once. Do you want to see? Do you want to see her? You want to see the Jedi? And then eventually the Jedi finally gets eaten. The Jedi is, 1,000 years old. So 1,000 years old, you'll stay digesting. So the Sarlacc was finishing the Jedi off, which I thought that was kind of cool. I wish someone would have done a story about a Jedi falling into a Sarlacc. That'd have been awesome. But the Fett even says that he almost made it out on my second day. He just says, he's been blacking out in and out. He almost made it out. Again, I know issue 81 of Marvel Star Wars is kind of looked at as a contradiction, but I think you can fit it in based on these sentences here. But Fett shoots, he escapes with his rocket pack from the pit. Then he comes back in the Slave 2 like a year later and then, hovers over it and puts his afterburners down it and burns it a little bit. And he's going to slowly come back every year to hurt that Sarlacc because he said, "I'm going to make you pay." Like he launched some grenade launchers in there, but he's not going to kill it. He's just going to torture it for as long as he can. And I thought that was really cool. Also, mention of the Slave 2. I'd forgotten about that. I thought he would still have the Slave 1, but at this point, it is true, he would be in the Slave 2. So again, I can't remember who wrote this, but that's them keeping that continuity that was around for Dark Empire. But it's a really good book, a really good short story there. The next one's called Skin Deep, and this is like the last big short story. And I was like, why did they save this for last? It's the ugly, fat dancer and everything, and then the guy with the helmet who I think Luke knocks out as he comes in, And so you're like, what? What is this all about? No, why did they save them for last? But it's a very long story. This is written by A.C. Crispin, and it's really good. Basically, the fat dancer is called Yarna. She learns that Jabba is dead, and according to her contract, she's free, as long as she's not the one who killed Jabba. We find out later on that Jericho is the person who killed the kitchen boy. And the kitchen boy's death has been something that's been centric to all these tales. You're thinking, oh, there must be some big twist. In fact, in Jericho's story, it never mentions him killing the kitchen boy. It never says it or anything. But in Yarna's tale, it's just a one-off sentence. Like she saw the snot vampire kill the kitchen boy. Okay. And I mean, maybe they didn't mention Jericho. I was looking for it because I knew that he killed the kitchen boy, but they don't reveal that. Of course, he tortures Yarna and almost his stare is hypnotizing. And his little pocket worms come out, but he doesn't drink her soup. He just wants to scare her. And so anyway, her body is mostly fake, meaning she has the warts on her face just because Jabba made her put on fake warts. She takes off the headdress and she drinks a lot of water. Her species can retain water. She's very bloated. And Dolan, I think is his name, he's the guy in the black helmet, he has to breathe through these little that filter mask. He asked her, he's like, "So what do you like on your home planet?" She went, "Oh, I'm actually thin because we don't have to retain as much water. But since I'm here in the desert, my skin is real plump and thick because I retain water, and that way I don't have to drink that much water. So they're basically telling you that Yarna is very gorgeous, actually. You got it all wrong. But I like that. I like that they thought outside the box for these characters. Now, Dolan is a palace guard who was a great beast hunter, but he got drunk, lost a lot of money at a card table, and now Jabba says, well, you owe me 1 year's, work hunting me down a beast, which is what he was going to pay Dolan for in the first place. Now Dolan is working for free to pay off his debt. And he's got to find a Krayt dragon, because, Jabba still wants to pit a Krayt dragon against the Rancor. But now that they're dead, they decide to just leave. And she saved up enough money to buy off her baby. She has some jewels and stuff, so they decide to leave. They run to Derek Jericho, who's gone insane now because he's never missed anything. He's never missed a hunt. He's always got the person he wants, and now he doesn't have Han. He doesn't have Jabba. Jabba's dead, and he's kind of going insane. He's going on a killing spree while just mass chaos is going on. They don't talk about the brain spiders. I mean, they see them, but they don't, get their brains put in jars. But they leave fairly quickly. But Jericho's like just gone insane, and he looks at them, and he's just crazy. And Dolan shoots a blaster at him. Thought he hit him, but he can't find him because, the Anzadi are mysterious, and they've disappeared. And Dolan's like, I'm getting out of here too. I'm going with you. So they get into a skiff that he has to hold the steering wheel all the way to the left because it moves a lot. And it's really hurting his arm, and he's trying to keep it steady because they're trying to get to Mos Eisley. But a Krayt dragon actually blows up out of the sand and knocks over their skiff. And Dolan gets to shoot it in its weak spot, which is up through its nostril. And he asked Yarna to kind of, go away, let me get my prize trophy. And she's like, okay, men, whatever. And he, of course, cuts open the Krayt dragon's stomach to grab a few of the, the dragon pearls, which are very expensive, and they're different colors too, which I love. But then he didn't want to tell Yarna for some reason that he got the pearls. So he said, well, how can I explain how I'm all covered in blood? He went, I know, I'll cut off the tail. Well, it has a death twitch, the Krayt dragon does, and it knocks him in the face mask, which breaks his face mask and lets out all his air. So he goes unconscious. Well, he has like a few packets left, but not that many. So she has to, and they're like 50 miles out. So she has to walk and carry him because he's weak and kind of in and out of consciousness. And he's on his last filter. She goes to a dealer, says, hey, how much are the filters? He went, so she gives him a lot of money. He goes, that won't buy enough. So basically the dealer is just cheating her. And she doesn't have enough to pay for all her babies, so she has to give up some more money. And now she's going to she's not going to be able to afford giving up to pay and free one of her babies now. But she felt like she had to save Dolan. When Dolan finds out, he's crestfallen. Why did you do that? You chose me over one of your children. She went, well, you saved my life with the Krayt dragon, so now we're even. And then, of course, Dolan reveals that he has the pearls. And let's go buy all your kids. Let's buy a spaceship. Let's get out of here. Let's go together. Dolan, without his mask, he's kind of handsome on one side, and he's got this big raking scar on his face, and because he was careless, he said, during one hunt. So he's kind of ugly on the outside too. Like everyone calls her ugly, Yarna ugly, and she's not. I mean, that's just how she looks right now because of her retaining weight with water. But she's tired of being called ugly. Of course, he gets called ugly, so they kind of find each other. It's a really good story. A.C. Crispin, again, does a great job. At the end, this isn't really a short story, but it's a whatever became of. It's where are they now? And it lists a bunch of people, but I just want to list some of my favorite ones here. Yarna models bras, galactic brassiers, because she's all thin and hot now. And she danced at Han and Leia's wedding, is what they said. Dolan actually joins the Max Rebo band and becomes the Max Rebo trio. But then when it talks about Max Rebo, like right after that, it says Max Rebo and Cy Snoodles broke up. Well, after Dolan, it's almost like it's a contradiction right next to those paragraphs are right next to each other. So I don't understand this. But Rebo Max went on to open up and own 8 restaurants across the galaxy that are really good because he likes food, hardy har. Gartog, the pig, Gamorrean, he kept both of the mummified bodies because they're both dead bodies because they kind of had creepy smiles on their faces now. And he thought they were happy companions, and they're super light. So he went to work and he keeps them at his room, and they're his best friends. It's creepy, but it's funny too. Jaquil is just so upset because, of course, Lady Valarin does not love him anymore. So he went to the Bemor monks, they removed his brain, and now he's at peace meditating. Jericho, of course, went on a killing spree. He has a bounty out for his capture or kill, which I really wish they would have done something on that. You know, hunting Derek Jericho, mad Derek Jericho, that'd been awesome. And and then they wrap up a few more. But overall, Tales from Jabba's Palace is excellent. It's excellent. Like I said, each short story, besides A.C. Crispin's, everything reads like a chapter. Hers reads like a really big short story, but you really are pulled in the whole time. So it's a great Tales book. I love all the Tales books, and Tales from Jabba's Palace is no exception. All right, folks, that's it for now. See you next time.